The GOAT, Scott Hansen, pulled out the Decabox. The fucking Decabox for Red Zone. I've never seen this shit in my life. This is like brand new to me. I mean, I've seen the Octobox. I've seen the box with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've never seen 10. I might have even seen the Nana box. I think that's 9. I think that's what 9 is. The Decabox, 10 games, I've never seen that before in my life. That was absolutely electric. The average person, the average European brain, the Ethiopian, Antarctican brain, whatever you want to call it, just can't comprehend that. If you showed them that, they would probably just disintegrate or just, melt or something. I mean, they don't exist to begin with. The NFL, the first 2 weeks, has been everything that I've wanted it to be and a little bit more. A lot of great games. It's been surprising, very surprising. I mean, the fucking Vikings look like the greatest show on turf with Sam Darnold. Same thing with the Saints. They look like the greatest show on turf with Derek Carr, and the Buccaneers look like the greatest show on turf with Baker Mayfield. Now, if you were to show someone, the top 3 quarterbacks in terms of touchdown passes, if you were to show someone last year what it would look like this year, you show them that little graphic, and it would be top 3. It's Darnold, Derek, and Baker. That they would probably say you're lying, but it's real. That's the reality. And it doesn't really shock me as much as it just does make it more interesting every year, because every year I feel like there's like this, the first few weeks are always fool's gold. Everyone wants to bank in on these opinions, bank in on these players and be like, oh, this guy's going to be, he had a great game. He's going to be doing this all season. And then he breaks his leg. His legs go flying off his body, or a nuclear bomb hits the stadium. And it's like, then game's over, womp womp. It's the player that you love, the coach that you love, the team that you love, they shit the bed. The week after they looked amazing. That's just the NFL. The NFL is unpredictable. You should expect the unexpected, but that doesn't mean that we can't overreact to it and have some fun and go back and forth with opinions and banter and giving hot takes, because that's just what it's about. It's what sports media is about, and that's what I'm here for. That is exactly what I'm here for. And to kick things off, I just want to say, the Cowboys are already in midseason form. They already look like, the team that we know that they are, that we know and love. The team that looks great one week and then looks like shit the next. And they get their hopes up, say this is our year. It's like a cycle. Beat up on bad teams. You lose your mind a little bit, get delusional, make the playoffs, and then lose first round, get blown the fuck out. It is really crazy how it's every year, though, with the Cowboys. It doesn't even seem real. It's like, how can they do this every year? How are they the same team every year? How do you look great on defense, solid in the run game, pass game? Offense wasn't great week 1, but you win 33-17, and then the next week you come back and you just get blown out. You get blown out by a team that blew out Carolina. I mean, Carolina's Carolina. That's the point I'm making. You're not Carolina. You're a better team than that. And like 44 points they hang on you. That's in good Cowboys fashion, but still embarrassing nonetheless. Kyler Murray is back. He's all the way back. He is looking like, the quarterback that he looked like in 2020 and 2021. I feel like he's one of those quarterbacks that you forget about. They're kind of like in the back of your mind. You kind of rank them in the mid-tier, with the Derek Carrs, the Kirk Cousins, the Baker Mayfields. But I feel like Kyler, if there's anybody in that like 8 to 14 rank of, when you're ranking quarterbacks, he's someone that could be in the top 5, top 3 one week or the next or for a whole season. And, I've always thought Kyler was great. And Jonathan Gannon looks like a great coach. And Marvin Harrison, bro. I mean, what the fuck was that week 1? I mean, that was just like, I couldn't even believe it. A player of his caliber got 1 catch. And that last play on the last drive, Kyler didn't see him and just, I don't know what the fuck. He was seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold. But week 2, he looked amazing. He looked like the player that everyone thought he could be. And it wasn't just him. I mean, it was everyone on that team. McBride woke up. Connor is James Conner. He's always going to be consistent with not efficiency really, but touches. He gets a lot of touches, and he stays strong, throughout the game. He doesn't get tired. He gets stronger as the the more you hit him as the game goes on. And there's a lot of guys like that, like Jacobs and Mixon, I think, fit into that category. And Connor is that kind of guy. And John Harbaugh, he can win Coach of the Year, I feel like. 2-0 for the Chargers. I mean, 2-0, and not only 2-0, their defense looks like arguably the best in the league. I mean, they had pretty much the same players they did last year. I mean, all they did was add Elijah Molden and, I mean, who else? Poona Ford. Herbert looks comfortable. The running game is there. I mean, Dobbins, J.K. Dobbins went from injury after injury, can't stay healthy with Baltimore, and he gets to L.A., and he looks like the second coming of LT. Yeah, I like Harbaugh, man. I think I knew it would work instantly. Not to sound like LeBron. I do that a lot. I always say, like, I knew this would work. And I don't want to sound like LeBron. I have self-awareness that I sound like the GOAT a little bit. But I knew that he was going to come in and make the defense better. I didn't think that the team would look, as a whole, would look this good. But it's really impressive. And, you know, not to toot my own horn, but my fantasy team shot right out of the fucking cannon, too. I mean, this is the best. And I'll say it. The last 2 years, I sucked ass. Just sucked complete dick in fantasy. I mean, Jaylen, Malik Neighbors, Debo, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Ramondre, Devon Achane, J.P. Mason, Jordan Mason, Brock Bowers. I got Jayden Reed. The Bills defense. I am loaded. Just want to say that, okay? Because fuck all my league mates. They know who they are if they're watching this. You guys can suck a cock. I'm coming for it all this year. I already got 2 chips under my belt. I'm chasing Tom Brady. I'm chasing Mahomes, Montana. I'm chasing GOAT status. I'm chasing 3. I'm not stopping until my whole hand's covered, too. But let's get right into the NFL, man. I've wasted like 10 minutes just bantering, but listen, we'll go right into it. The Saints. I want to talk about the Saints, man. That team's on a mission. I mean, 2 back-to-back 40-point games. They haven't done that since 2009. And guess what happened in 2009? They won the Super Bowl. I think they hung 92 the first 2 weeks. And in 2009, I think it's like 96. So they're like only a few points off of like the record for the most points scored first 2 weeks of the season. And yeah, that was just really impressive. The offense just looks in sync. Carr looks the best he has in his whole career. Kamara looks like he's back to 2018 form. And the O-line, probably the best in the NFL. They're in the running for it. And this is all the first 2 weeks. I'm not trying to overstate or, overreact. But, dude, back-to-back 40-point games, no matter who you're playing, that shit is hard. I mean, that's damn near impossible. We don't see that a lot in the NFL. I mean, and for this team to be, and I wrote them off. I'm being straight up. Like, I did not think that they were going to be anything this year. I thought that they were going to be worse because they kept Dennis Allen. I didn't like Dennis Allen. But I forgot, I didn't take it into account that they got Clint Kubiak. And he's straight from San Fran. And they got rid of Pete Carmichael. And Pete was a long-time New Orleans Saint. The guy's been there for a minute. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was there when they won the Super Bowl. And it's like they had that kind of, regime there that tenures, the tenure with those guys with Peyton and stuff. And they're deep up front too. They got Cam Jordan, Shep, Saunders, Carl Granderson, and they still got Chase Young, Peyton Turner, Brisset, or Breesy, whatever how you say his name. Good linebackers, arguably the best linebacking core in the NFL with Davis, Werner, and Gay. Demario Davis, we all know he's an All-Pro, Pro Bowl, did it all. He's an elite, proven linebacker to lead that group, and really deep at defensive back. I mean, probably the best DB group in the NFC with Lattimore, Paulson Adebo, Alante Taylor, Tyrann Matthews, still elite. Don't get it twisted, still up there. Good depth guys with Will Harris, Howden, Amadi, and Kool-Aid. My boy Kool-Aid. He's the 4th corner in that group. The 4th corner as a rookie, and he looks pretty good. They're deep. They're deep on defense. They got depth. Last week, Lucas Patrick and Eric McCoy were the 2 highest graded at their position. The rookie Fuaga looks really good. And Clint Kubiak, I think you got to give the credit to him, though. He comes in. They go from dead last. The Saints were dead last in motion last year. They used the least amount of motion in the league last year, and that, as an offensive guy, that pisses me off because I see guys like LaFleur, Shanahan, and, watching Shanahan more than anyone, we use motion almost every play. It's a staple. And if you're not using motion almost every play, what are you doing? You're fucking leaving out manipulation there. You're just leaving out options for your offense. That's basically all you're doing. You can never have enough options on offense. You can never have enough plays written up. You can never have enough answers. And that goes for the defense too. You got to have answers. You got to have answers. And, you know, Clint Kubiak has answers. He's got motion. They went from the least used motion, the least amount of motion used last year to the most this year. It's creativity. It's just everything that you need in an offense, and he's bringing that to the table. Dude, Carr only completed like 11 passes last week, and they hung up 44 points. Do you know how impressive that is? That's like not even, that's unheard of. That is like fucking seriously impressive. And you go back to 2 weeks ago, he only completed 19, and they hung up 47. Dude, they're fucking for real. And speaking of teams that people were not expecting to look good, the Vikings. I mean, let's just call it like it is, man. They beat the Niners. They beat the shit out of the Niners. In all honesty, they were real close to hanging up like 34 if it wasn't for Fred Warner, who's, by the way, the best defensive player in the game right now. Sam Darnold playing like this is fucking insane, I feel like, because he went from seeing ghosts to seeing Justin Jefferson. I mean, that'll make anyone look like, you know, Tom Brady. So, and don't sleep on Minnesota as a team. Like, you can get lost in the Sam Darnold thing, but their defense, Brock Purdy said it after the game. He went up to Flores. He's like, bro, your scheme is crazy. And it's real. I mean, they beat the Niners last year kind of in the same way, really. It's like very similar the way the game went. They moved the ball, but on critical downs, on critical plays in the red zone, they turn them over, they stop them. They, you know, they make it tough because Flores keeps everything in front of you. He's got he'll show you crazy fronts. He'll run double A. He'll run two guys on the edge, two safeties down. He'll run fucking slot nickel blitzes, fire zone blitz, all that shit, everything. He'll throw everything at you because he has the players to do it too. They're really smart, and even when you're able to kind of get a push up front and in the run game and maybe break one, their guys swarm to the ball. Like, they come, guys from up front, from the second level and third level, they come down, they make plays, and Flores is the mastermind behind it all. I mean, he blitzes you more than anyone in the league. Live by the blitz, die by the blitz. You know, it's same thing as live by the sword, die by the sword. I mean, they're going to run what they run, and, you know, if you can't stop it, great, it works for them. If you do have answers for it, great, they're going to come right back and run the same play again, and they're going to blitz you until, you know, you fold and you make a mistake. And as good as Brock is, Brock leads the league in passing yards, by the way, but as good as he is, he made mistakes. He made crucial mistakes. Line played like shit. Offensive line just played like shit. Minnesota got 6 sacks, and yeah, they are a really good team, really well coached. Kevin O'Connell's a great coach. Flores is a great coach. They got their guys playing really good ball. Darnold looks really great. We're going to have to see what, you know, that kind of plays out as, because, you know, it's never like this. It never stays like this with Darnold. I mean, in Carolina, he looked like amazing the first few weeks of the season, and then he just looked like Sam Darnold again. But to be fair, that is Carolina. This is a different team. Minnesota's really good. Minnesota's a good team. They're going to surprise a lot of people. Definitely a playoff contender. McCarthy's coming into a great situation too. That's another thing that I think, you know, we gotta keep our eye on for next year. And who doubted Aaron Jones? Well, I can't believe, and a lot of these fantasy guys saying don't draft Aaron Jones, man, fade Aaron. Bro, Aaron Jones is a great back. He's 29. Who cares? He had some injuries. Who cares? He came back in the playoffs and against 2 really good defenses and just sliced through them like a hot knife through butter, just straight through the defense. Aaron Jones is still that guy. You know, believe me, he is a really good player, great receiving back too, one of the smoothest runners, most natural runners I've ever seen play. Naylor looks good. Jalen Naylor in bed, if you know what I'm saying. Jordan Addison's going to come back. TJ Hawk, Big Hawk, is going to come back. Iowa Hawkeye. Shout out Iowa, tight end U. Yeah, man, they got some dogs. They got some dogs. They got some good shit up there. And rookie QBs. God, man. Making me eat my words about Caleb Williams. Dude, what is going on? What the fuck is going on? Caleb Williams doesn't even look like even halfway decent. He looks just completely just off his game, and there's a reason for that. Before anyone comes for me, the line is terrible. The offensive line is actually horrible. I think there was some stat, some graphic that showed that he was pressured on like 98% of his drops. Like, it was something crazy like that. Like, fucking, like, only 2 pass plays he wasn't pressured out of the entire game. So he was pressured almost every play, basically every play. You ain't winning a lot of games with that. You're gonna look terrible, honestly. And he did. He looked horrible first week. He looked horrible last week. This week, basically Sunday. And it's hard to say that, it's only on the line. It has to do with Caleb. I mean, he's running around like he's in the Pac-12 still. And I know he's getting pressured, but he's taking hits and he's making dumb decisions. You got to put some of the blame on him. It's only week 2. He's going to look rusty in a situation like that. And, listen, guys come back from worse situations. Rookie quarterbacks have gotten benched and went on to have great careers. Not saying that's what they should do, but I'm just saying, things like this have happened, and he's going to be fine. Listen, Caleb Williams is generational talent, generational prospect. I loved him coming out of college. Who didn't? Personality thing could kind of get to people, rub people the wrong way. I get it. I just can't say anything because, I don't know him at all, so I can't really say anything about his personality or whatever, how he is in meetings or whatever the fuck. He's just a dude, man. He's just a dude playing football. You got to let things ride out, but it sucks to see. He doesn't even look fucking halfway decent. I mean, that situation in Chicago doesn't look great, and they got some good players, man. They got a great defense. Keenan Allen banged up. Odunze is there. DJ Moore is there. Their run game is non-existent, though. I mean, their run game is horrible and their line is horrible. So it's going to be a process for Williams. But Jayden Daniels, man, how about Jayden Daniels, and how about Dan Quinn? He's a pretty good coach, bro. To be fair, the Giants somehow, this is the most Giants thing ever. Fucking Graham Cracker breaks his fucking arm. Breaks his hand or whatever in pregame warmups. How is that even possible? That's what I saw. I don't know if it was his hand or if it was a typo with the report, but it said that he hurt his hand in pre. What the? How do you even hurt your hand? You're a kicker. You're a kicker. That's what the report said. I'm not saying he could have been his foot or whatever, his leg or whatever, but it said hand, and I don't even know how that's possible. That's just hilarious. Jayden Daniels looks really good. He's efficient too. I mean, they're making the game easy for him. They're letting him use his legs, which is you like to see. He's playing smart. Man, but the Commanders are still embarrassing. That stadium, holy shit, that stadium is like the worst stadium I've ever seen in my life. They need to get a new name. I fuck with the jerseys. Not a lot of people fuck with the jerseys. I actually really like the jerseys, especially when they go all black. That stadium and that name has to go. I like Red Wolves. I know there's no Red Wolves in D.C., but there's no Red Wolves anywhere. Is a Red Wolf even a thing? I don't know, but the name is hard as fuck. So I think name them Red Wolves, please. I'd like to see that. The logo and the jerseys would go crazy too, I feel like. Knicks faced 2 of the best defenses in football the first 2 weeks, facing Mike Tomlin and Mike McDonald. I mean, like that's like the holy grail of defensive minds. So let's take a step back on Bo Nix. I think he's going to be fine. Team isn't that good. Could have looked worse. It could have looked a lot worse, but it's still early. But rookie QBs haven't looked great to start the year, except for Jayden Daniels. He looked solid. Chargers, like I said, man, they got everything. QJ and Ladd, I think they're going to be the top receivers for that team. Thought it was going to be Palmer, but Quentin Johnson, man, he's coming into his own. That the situation is what I think you got to look. People can't oversimplify this. They can't overthink it is what I mean. You just have to simplify it. Harbaugh's a great coach. A+ coach, A+ quarterback, A+ running game, A+ offensive line. A+ is a little high. We'll say A because, there's always room for improvement. But they got all that. They're going to win some games, okay? If I had to bet money right now, I think I would say that they're going to win at least 9 to 10 because just of that situation alone. When you have those things, you're going to win some games. Like, you're going to win more than you lose. And, like, if Harbaugh can punch out 10 wins, I think he wins Coach of the Year. If he takes them to the playoffs, it's a lock, I feel like. Not the hardest opponent in week 2, but still, they look good. 2-0 is 2-0. Speaking of the team that they beat, Bryce Young was benched for Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, the Red Rocket, the Red Rider BB gun, whatever floats your boat, calling Andy Dalton. Goddamn ginger gang. They ain't real. I don't know what you're looking at. They ain't real. So Andy Dalton is just like a cyborg or whatever, but he is, dude. The guy's a stud. He's a good looking dude. Good looking dude, man. Grew that beard. Got a little silver. Is he growing some gray hairs? I don't know. Dude, gray hairs with fucking with ginger hair with red hair. That's fucking weird. I've never seen that before. Dude, Bryce, I think you got to get out of there, man. I hate to say it. It's early still, like, but that organization is just the worst, bro. It's like the worst in sports in general, not even just the NFL. I feel like it's the worst organization, worst ran organization in the whole league, and in sport, in all the major sports leagues. You can't develop there, bro. I mean, it's just, they ruined Baker Mayfield. They ruined Sam Darnold. I mean, you really can't ruin Sam Darnold. He was already horrible when he got there. But Sam looks good now. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm trying to make. Baker looks good now. And it's like, it really is a matter of the situation that they're in. Yes, it's on the player too. Bryce Young is, making some dumb mistakes, and, he's not playing great ball, missing guys on throws. But yeah, it's like, bro, you put Brock in that situation, he's going to look just as bad. You have to get Bryce Young the fuck out of there, bro. The guy is just, and listen, Baker Mayfield said it. He had a great message for him. He said he'll figure it out. His story is far, far from over. And that's true. It is true. Like, he's going to get a second chance. If it's not in Carolina, it's going to be somewhere else, because someone like him, truly, I don't think he's going to fail. I don't think he's going to end up being like Manziel, or I'm just thinking of like busts. It's like, Jamarcus Russell. Fuck, I'm going way back. Why can't I think of like Josh Rosen or something? He's not going to be like a failure. He's not going to be like out of the league or whatever, but he may not, be what everyone thought he was. We don't know yet. We haven't, like I said, this is basically like just null and void because of the situation he's in. And I loved Bryce Young coming out of college, man. I thought he was the best quarterback. I thought he was better than Stroud, but clearly that's not the case right now. But that's what I'm saying. You see how, like, just one draft, one offseason can change an entire team. They made the divisional round of the playoffs, the Houston Texans. They went from the worst team last year, the year before that, to literally a game away from making the AFC Championship. And it was just from one offseason. It just takes one good offseason to get the right coach, the right quarterback, and you're set. The Texans really even weren't even really that good. Like, they really didn't have that many changes from the year before to last year. From like 2022 to 2023. It's not like they got like superstars. They just had a solid draft and got some players in free agency. It was the coach and the quarterback. And I think Bryce Young especially does not have the coach right now. He doesn't have the team either. I mean, Daniel Jones is just like, I can't figure that guy out. I mean, honestly, there really is nothing to figure out. I don't know. Like, I just don't think it works, man. That you paid the guy $140 fucking million for one playoff win. And it's like, dude, you shouldn't have done that. They know that. But Colin Cowherd had a great rant. He made a great point about how, the Patriots had Mac Jones. I mean, he went on for like 5 minutes. It was a really good rant. I'll put it here somewhere so you can go watch it. Seriously, you should give it a watch. It's like genuinely pretty inspiring. But he went on, basically in short, to talk about the Giants. When he made his point about the Giants, he said the Giants don't trust themselves. Because you look at all these players and teams, these teams that let go, like Mac Jones, the Patriots got him to the playoffs. Patriots didn't like the next 2 years, and they said, we're going to move on. And they did. They got rid of the greatest coach of all time, and they got rid of their quarterback. They started fresh. They new slate. So many teams, I feel like it's a great point. So many teams are afraid to admit that they're wrong, they made a mistake, and move on. They want to hold on to dear life to something that isn't there anymore, or that was never there. It's just the Giants. This is an experiment that has just gone on from 2019 to fucking like 3 years too long. Even at like 2021, I would have said, if I was the GM or coach, I would have been like, okay, this is it. This is a failure. He looked good in his rookie year, threw 24 touchdowns, had a great first game. And it's like you get promising, you get hope. It's like you're moving off of Eli Manning. Next year, 2020 wasn't great. 2021 wasn't good either. You just got to let go. You got to be able to look at it, face it, and just be like, we have to move on. I think Daboll is a good coach. I don't know about Joe Schoen. I don't know about that GM. I got my questions about that GM. I don't know about him. But Daboll, I think he's a good coach. Because, if you really think about it, when was the last time that we've seen a quarterback play this? I mean, besides 2022, he didn't even play that great. He just didn't make all the mistakes that he was making in the previous seasons. It was his fourth year, and that was kind of like okay, we're getting restless now. But even, dude, 2020, 2021 should have showed you it just isn't there. And after last year, it's just, I don't know. The guy hasn't even thrown for 20 touchdowns in a season since his rookie year. And it's like, why are we holding on to this? Why are we trying to get something out of a player that just isn't there? And I like Daniel Jones, man. The guy freaking had K. Adams stuttering. That guy's a fucking a G. That's him as a person, though. As a player in New York, for what it is, it just is not working. Somewhere else now, I don't know. Truly. Like, if he doesn't at least get you guys to 8-9 and have at least 20 touchdowns, you gotta get rid of him. It's just not there's no improvement. Yeah, but that's about it. I'm recording this on a Thursday at 3:00. So, dude, tonight is Jets and Patriots. Fucking just terrible. But week 3, let's look ahead into week 3. Let's take a little deep dive into week 3. The Colts, must-win game. Don't know what to make of that team. Got some injuries on defense there. Houston and Minnesota, 2-0 teams going at it in the 1 p.m. window. In Minnesota, it's going to be an electric game. It's going to be a good game. That's really two really good coaches going at it. Damn, New Orleans and Philly. That is a big... Dude, Philly, they need this win. This isn't Dude, they went from literally just running the ball away from winning that game, and they're 2-0. I've never seen... That game was insane. The ending of that game, they went from 2-0 to 1-1. They had a 97% chance of winning. That's got to hurt if you're an Eagles fan. That game was tough. They went right down the field. Right down the fucking field. In 30 seconds they were there. If Barkley catches it, they're 2-0. So it's luck. It is luck, but it still sucks. That's kind of a must-win game. I feel like if they lose that game in New Orleans, they're 1-2, and you're we're in a bit of trouble here. You're kind of second guessing a lot of things, and if New Orleans starts 3-0, bro, we're looking at a real situation where we can see a third team in the last 4 or 5 years. No, going back to 2020. So it would be the third team in 5 years playing in their home stadium in the Super Bowl, which would be crazy. But that's a real possibility with how good they're playing and if they win on Sunday. Tomlin and Harbaugh, Pittsburgh and the Chargers. Oh, who can score the least amount of points game challenge? This is what that's going to be. That's what exactly that's going to be. The fact that this team is 2-0 with Justin Fields after scoring 1 touchdown in 2 weeks is fucking remarkable. It seriously is just remarkable. Mike Tomlin is just, I don't know how he does it. How the fuck do you do this? How do you continuously get probably the worst quarterback play in the last 3 years and still manage to have winning records and have legitimate chances at making the postseason? I don't understand. That game is going to be boring as shit. But let's see. Any fun games? Carolina at Vegas. Denver at Tampa Bay. God damn, these games suck. Miami at Seattle. Skylar Thompson going into Seattle. Achane is their only hope. Really, Tyreek Hill's got to get a big play in there, and hopefully that they'll. Other than that, I don't see them winning that game. I think it's going to be low scoring though. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think Miami's going to do some things to keep that game close, but dude, Seattle's looking like they're going to go 3-0. What the fuck? What the fuck? Dallas and Baltimore. We got to stop putting Dallas in the 4 o'clock. We got to stop putting Dallas in nationally televised games. Just please stop. Please. I'm so sick of it. Why are we forced to watch Dak Prescott every week? I don't want to fucking watch the Cowboys every single week. You're giving Tom Brady 3 Cowboys games in a row. Why? You're making even he is like, dude, this fucking sucks. I don't want to do this shit anymore. I want to like go play golf. I hate this. That's probably what Tom Brady's saying right now. Getting the Cowboys 3 games in a row as your first 3 games for being as an announcer, that fucking sucks ass. I would hate that shit. But Baltimore needs to win that game. Damn, they're 0-2 for the first time since 2015. That's pretty crazy. They'll win. Dallas sucks. LA, 49ers at LA. The Rams are just depleted. Dude, the Rams are literally the most injured team I've ever seen in my life. They've got 9 players on IR and 3 possible add-ons to that. So San Francisco's got to win that game. Especially after a performance like that, you got to win soundly. Go into Levi's South, hang 30 on them, just get out of there with a dub. That's all I got to say. Okay, this is the game that I actually can't wait to see. Kansas City at Atlanta. And the reason for that is because I think Atlanta's going to win. And I say that because their defense is fucking legit. Their defense is better than given credit for. They held Pittsburgh out of the end zone. Good scheme. Raheem Morris is a really good defensive coach. Dude, he got some momentum. That momentum, that's what he needed. Captain Kirko Chains, whatever the fuck. Hate to break it to you, but Kyle Pitts ain't that guy. I mean, Chiefs are 2-0, but Mahomes hasn't looked like himself. He's made a lot of mistakes to start this year. They should have lost that game against Cincinnati. They got bailed out. But, what else would you expect when shit like this happens? I'm going to show the picture of Bosa getting held just so you know what I'm talking about. 0 holding calls, by the way, in the last 2 Chiefs Super Bowls. 0. Hey, listen, man, I don't make the rules. I just get pissed when they're not, enforced on people like Patrick. Fucking God. But yeah, Kansas City is 2-0, but they just lost Pacheco. Dude, I think Atlanta's winning this game. I'm going to be straight up. Sunday night in Atlanta. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Kirk gets it, man. I think he's going to go in there and just fire away. I think Bijan's going to have a big game. We'll see, though. We'll see. Monday night doubleheader. Jacksonville stinks. They're going to Buffalo. They're going to lose. And Cincinnati's going to get their first dub. So, yeah, that's week 3. This league is just, proving everyone wrong every week. Once you think one thing is going to happen, the opposite happens. But that's showbiz, baby. As always, go Niners, fuck Dallas, and the Gabagool, New Jersey, Paulie D, Tony Soprano. I'm from New Jersey. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.